Hey Fraser family, now that we are several weeks into in-person worship, it has been so good to see and meet many of you. At the same time, it has been good to hear from those of you who are still worshiping from home and knowing that you are still connected with us virtually. So much of our world is in that in-between state, if you know what I mean. We can turn on a football game on Saturdays and it feels like life is back to normal. But then we look in the stands and we see 20,000 people and not 100,000 people. And we realize things are really not back to normal yet. But you know, it's in these in-between spaces that God often does His best work. God prepared Joshua to lead the people of Israel in the wilderness between Egypt and the Promised Land. God formed David's heart to be king between the time he was anointed and the time when he actually took the throne. Don't miss what God is doing in our hearts individually and as a church during this between time. One thing I'm pleased to report is that our Board of Stewards voted unanimously to approve the budget for 2021 that was prepared by our finance team and our ministry leaders. This budget is more than just numbers on a spreadsheet. It represents strategic plans to focus our resources on how we can bring more people into an encounter with God's presence, equip them to serve as disciples of Jesus Christ, and engage them on mission for the hope of the world. It is a streamlined budget that represents the realities of a COVID world, but is also a strong budget that represents the tremendous possibilities that lie before us. As you probably know, we're working through a sermon series on how we can live out the great commandment to love God with all of our heart and soul and mind and strength, and to love our neighbor as we love ourselves. One of our staff asked me before the series began, they said, "Which week will you focus on the importance of giving?" My answer was, all of them. Money has a way of touching every aspect of our lives and revealing the true condition of our heart. I'm confident that as we learn to love God, love our neighbor, and love ourselves, there will be no lack of giving to support the mission and ministry of our church. As God blesses you and as you give, we will have every resource we need to accomplish the vision that God is calling us to accomplish. In other words, God will always lead us through the between times and into the promised land, provided we continue to trust and obey. This coming Sunday, we're going to dig deeper into what it means to love God with all of our strength. I hope that you are following along with your In His Steps commitment card every Sunday, and that you'll be prayerfully prepared to make your commitments to Christ for 2021 when we gather together on Commitment Sunday, which will be November 1st. Between now and then, I'm expecting God to do great things among us. God bless you. Have a great rest of the week. I hope to see you Sunday.